Have you ever gazed up at the night sky and felt a chill at the thought of what lurks out there? The universe is unimaginably vast, filled with trillions of worlds, many of them far more bizarre and terrifying than anything on Earth. From planets where it rains molten rock to rogue worlds cast adrift in eternal darkness, the cosmos hosts realms that would be downright hellish to visit. Today, we'll explore some of the most horrifying exoplanets ever discovered, alien worlds so extreme that they make our Earth seem like a gentle paradise. Brace yourself for a journey through cosmic nightmares. Coro 7b is a world so close to its star that day and night are like fire and ice. It hugs its sun at a distance of 1.6 million miles, which sounds far, but it's about 60 times closer than Earth is to our sun. A year on this planet lasts about 20 hours, as it whips around in a dizzying orbit. The star-facing side reaches temperatures of around 2300 degrees Celsius, which is hot enough to vaporize rock. In fact, scientists believe the atmosphere is made of rock vapor, from boiling lava lakes on the surface. As this vapor rises and cools at higher altitudes, it condenses into pebbles and rains down as stone. Yes, literal rock rain falls from dark silicate clouds, something no umbrella could ever protect you from. Meanwhile, the permanent night side of Coro 7b is a brutal contrast. Temperatures plunge to about 50 degrees Kelvin, or negative 200 degrees Celsius, cold enough to freeze any residual atmosphere. One theory suggests that Coro 7b was once a giant planet, perhaps 100 times Earth's mass, that migrated inward. Intense stellar radiation and solar winds would have stripped away its gaseous layers, leaving behind only a broiling rock core. The result is a bared planet that endures the most extreme volcanic hell, a 4,000-degree Fahrenheit day under a swollen sun, and a frigid night with sparkling rock storms. It's a place where dawn brings death by incineration, and the forecast calls for showers of pebble-sized lava droplets. Coro 7b truly is a stark reminder of how alien and inhospitable exoplanets can be. Next up is a planet that's less fire and brimstone and more of a jaw-dropping cosmic spectacle, albeit a deadly one if you were to wander too close. Meet J1407b, a planet famous for having the largest ring system ever observed. How large? Try a ring system that's over 200 times the size of Saturn's rings. This alien Super-Saturn is encircled by more than 30 massive rings, each on the order of tens of millions of kilometers in diameter. To put that in perspective, if J1407b's rings replaced Saturn's, they would dominate our night sky, appearing many times larger than a full moon. You could see them glowing at dusk with the naked eye, an eerie banded disk stretching across the heavens. The total material in J1407b's rings is staggering. It's roughly an Earth's worth of rock and dust swirling around the planet. If you could compress all that rubble into a single body, you'd have a sizable moon. So why does it have such enormous rings? One idea is that a catastrophic event occurred. Perhaps the planet tore apart a massive moon or a swarm of comets. The rings might be the debris of a shattered satellite, ground to dust by tidal forces. J1407b itself is estimated to be 10 to 40 times Jupiter's mass, a true behemoth whose gravity could easily rip apart smaller bodies that ventured too close. Visiting J1407b would be an awe-inspiring yet harrowing experience. Long before you reach the planet itself, you'd encounter the endless belt of rocks and ice that surround it. The ring spans so wide a radius that a spacecraft approaching too fast might collide with countless icy boulders orbiting in formation. And if you tried to fly through a plane of the rings, you'd be threading through a debris field denser than anything around Saturn. On the plus side, the view from within those rings would be mind-blowing. Enormous bands of dust arcing across the sky, a cosmic panorama unlike any other. But don't get too mesmerized. One stray moonlet or clump of particles could pulverize your ship in an instant. J1407b's majestic rings are as dangerous as they are beautiful, a cosmic wonder born from violence and destined to form new worlds in time. Floating alone in the darkness of space, PSO J318.5-22 is a world with no sun to call its own. This eerie planet wanders the galaxy as a rogue, untethered to any star. Located about 75 to 80 light-years away in the constellation Capricornus, PSO was discovered in 2013 after astronomers noticed an object that was faint in visible light but bright in infrared, a clue that it was warm despite being isolated. Indeed, This lowly planet is still cooling from its formation, shining with a dim reddish glow. It's roughly 8 times the mass of Jupiter, and it's very young, only about 20 to 23 million years old, a newborn by cosmic standards. It's likely ejected from a forming solar system and sent drifting into the endless night. Life as a rogue planet is unimaginably bleak. With no star, perpetual darkness reigns across PSO skies. There is no sunrise, no day, only an endless star-speckled night. Yet, thanks to leftover heat from its birth, this world isn't frozen solid yet. In fact, PSO J318.5-22 has an internal temperature of around 800 degrees Celsius. That's hot enough to make it glow faintly and to drive some truly bizarre weather. Astronomers using infrared telescopes were able to map the weather on this free-floating planet by tracking how its brightness changed as it rotated. In just about 5 to 8 hours, PSO completes a full spin, causing detectable brightness variations. What they found is astonishing. The planet's atmosphere has multiple layers of thick and thin clouds, likely made of hot dust and droplets of molten iron. Yes, molten metal rain might be falling through hazy storm clouds on this lightless world. Imagine the nights, which is effectively all the time. Above you swirl crimson-black clouds of vaporized minerals and metals. Occasionally, as the planet's heat breaches the threshold, liquid iron condenses and showers down, a hot metallic drizzle in the dark. Indeed, there's still debate whether to call PSO J318.5-22 a planet, a sub-brown dwarf, or something in between. Whatever its label ends up as, it's a forsaken world, forever wandering, offering us a haunting preview of what eternal night on a planet can be like. Now, if there's one planet that you absolutely do not want to trade places with, it might be WASP-12b. This hot Jupiter is on a death spiral into its star, and it knows nothing but extreme torture during its short existence. WASP-12b orbits a yellow dwarf star, some 14 light-years away in the constellation Orion. It orbits it so closely that it completes a full orbit in just 1.1 Earth days. That's right, a day and a year are almost the same for this unfortunate world. Being so close, it's estimated to only be 2 to 3 million miles from its sun, compared to Earth's 93 million miles. The result of this? Unbelievable tidal forces and roasting heat. Daytime temperatures on WASP-12b are around 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit, 2,200 degrees Celsius, which is hot enough to boil some metals. The star's gravity is literally pulling the planet apart, distorting WASP-12b into an egg shape instead of a sphere. The closer a planet orbits, the stronger the star's gravitational pull, and here, that pull is stripping away WASP-12b's atmosphere. A huge cloud of glass surrounds this planet, spilling past the Roche limit and forming an accretion disk the star is greedily siphoning up. In 2010, the Hubble Space Telescope confirmed that WASP-12b's star is actively cannibalizing the planet, the first time we observed a star eating an exoplanet. This process can't last much longer on cosmic timescales. Earlier estimates gave the planet maybe 10 million years left to live, but new research suggests that the end could come much sooner, possibly in as little as 3 million years. Sometime in the far future, assuming humans are still around to watch, we might be able to witness WASP-12b's final plunge as it was ripped to pieces and consumed in a stellar fire. If you could stand on WASP-12b, which is impossible since it's a gas giant with no solid surface, you'd be doomed by many things. The intense gravity, the heat that would vaporize you, and the fact that the ground, if there was one, could be made of graphite and diamonds from all that carbon. In cosmic terms, WASP-12b is a doomed world on borrowed time, slowly falling to pieces as it orbits. Enjoy the view while it lasts, because in a few million years, there will be nothing left but a stream of planetary ashes spiraling into a yellow star. As if rock rains and diamond planets aren't extreme enough, consider WASP-76b, an ultra-hot giant where even metal experiences the water cycle. Discovered in 2016, WASP-76b orbits an F-type star about 640 light-years away. It's another tightly locked hot Jupiter, but this one is so overheated that it makes WASP-12b seem mild. Daytime temperatures on WASP-76b soar above 2,400 degrees Celsius, or 4,350 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hotter than some small stars, and it's hot enough to vaporize heavy metals like iron. The planet is battered by intense radiation on its permanent day side, and perpetual night shrouds its far side. The contrast creates a nightmare weather system, fierce winds howling from the ultra-bright day half to the dark half. These winds carry along iron vapor that's been boiled out of the soil or rocks, or out of metallic elements in the atmosphere itself. When these iron-laden gusts finally reach the night side, where it's cooler but still immensely hot, the iron gas condenses into droplets, and molten iron begins to rain from the sky. Yes, you heard that right. It rains liquid iron on WASP-76b. Imagine a drizzle of hot metal splashing down, a truly scalding acid rain, except it's made of iron. This horrific weather was confirmed by detailed observations in 2020, when astronomers detected signatures of iron atoms moving across the daylight boundary and disappearing, presumably turning to liquid and falling out of the air. One side of the planet likely has iron clouds in the sky. The other side might have iron puddles on the ground. If anyone foolishly tried to skydive through WASP-76b's atmosphere, they'd be pelted by raindrops of molten metal and incinerated by the heat before they could scream. It's a vision of hell that Dante could have never dreamed up, a world where the very air is a cauldron of metals. Despite the forbidding environment, WASP-76b has been a darling of astronomers because it provides a kind of laboratory for extreme atmospheres. Recently, in 2023, the planet made headlines again when the European CHEOPS Space Telescope observed a strange rainbow-like optical phenomenon called the glory in its atmosphere. On Earth, glories sometimes appear as the concentric colorful rings in mist, usually seen from airplanes. On WASP-76b, scientists suspect the combination of iron clouds and the star's angle created a giant glowing halo, essentially an iron rainbow on a colossal scale. It's a bit of beauty in an otherwise lethal place. These findings remind us just how dynamic and complex exoplanet climates can be. WASP-76b's discovery of iron rain was the first of its kind, proving that our nature's water cycle has an alien analog with metals on hot giants. For a different kind of horror, let's turn to Kepler-70b, also known as KOI 55b. This is a planet that quite literally went through star hell and back. Kepler-70b orbits a star that is no longer in the prime of life. The star is a sub-dwarf, which is a hot remnant of a sun-like star that has shed its red giant envelope. In the past, this star swelled up as a red giant, likely engulfing any close planets. Kepler-70b appears to be a remnant of a planet that plunged into its star's envelope and survived, although in a terrible form. The result is one of the hottest planets ever recorded. Kepler-70b's average temperature is estimated around 6,800 degrees Celsius, about 12,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which is hotter than the surface of our Sun. Guinness World Records lists Kepler-70b as the hottest known exoplanet. This scalding world used to be a gas giant like Jupiter, but when its star expanded, Kepler-70b spiraled inward and was brutally scorched. Most planets would be obliterated by such an experience, and indeed, Kepler-70b was mostly destroyed. It lost its outer layers, and perhaps even mass from its core. What emerges is essentially a charred planetary core, now smaller than Earth in size. Kepler-70b zips around its sub-dwarf star in just about 5.7 hours, which means it orbits at a distance of only 0.006 astronomical units, which is less than 1% of the Earth-Sun distance. It's practically skimming the star's surface. This proximity is why it's so insanely hot. It's like an ember held next to a blowtorch. The planet is likely tightly locked, and it's literally evaporating away as we speak. Kepler-70b has been described as a Freddy Krueger-like burned world, a nod to its seared, battered state. Having once been Jupiter-sized and then spending time inside a star, it's now just a planetary skeleton. Any atmosphere it once had is long gone. Any volatile materials, like water or gas, are long gone too. The story of Kepler-70b is both horrifying and awe-inspiring because it shows the aftermath of a stellar apocalypse. Our own sun will one day expand into a red giant. Mercury and Venus will likely be swallowed, and perhaps Earth will too. If Earth were to somehow survive by moving closer to the sun's core and then re-emerging, it would probably resemble what we see here. In any case, Kepler-70b is a testament to the deadly violence of stars. Even worlds can be left as charred embers when stars get angry. As we think about these hostile planets, one thing becomes clear: there is no place like home. Earth, with its breathable air and liquid water, is an oasis in a very dangerous cosmos. The more we learn about other planets, the more we can appreciate how special and delicate our own planet is. So next time you look up at the stars, take a moment to shiver just a little at the thought of the hellish realms hanging out there in the night. The universe is beautiful, yes, But it's also filled with nightmares that make our worst fears look tame. Thankfully, they're a safe cosmic distance away, at least for now. As science continues to peel back the curtain on these distant worlds, we'll be here, equal parts frightened and fascinated, eager to learn what other horrors and marvels the galaxy of horrors has in store for us next.